Hello guys, it's Friday. We got a 16 game MLB slate here. We got a doubleheader in the Phillies and Nationals. Looking at this slate, there are actually quite a few plays that I do like. I think this is a pretty good slate to place some entries on. First one, we're going to start with first inning runs allowed. We're going to be looking at Coors, another Coors series. This time it's going to be against the Padres. Now, the first inning runs allowed, it's going to be an over, of course. It's two teams that, one, Colorado, they're going to be in Coors. So anytime they're playing at home, they're just so much better offensively. And then for the Padres, any visiting team is going to have basically a field day against Colorado. The Rockies just aren't a good team. And the Padres, they're playing against Kyle Freeland, a lefty. The Padres ranked 9th in WRC plus against lefties. And they just have lefties in Jake Cronenworth, Eric Hosmer, Trent Grisham. Some of these guys, even though they're lefties, they hit left-handed pitching really well. And Kyle Freeland is not a pitcher that is tough against the same side, lefties. So I really like this. And then taking a look at this environment, it's not just Coors Field, it's the weather. 93 degrees, 13-mile winds blowing straight out the center field, 6.8 round total. This would not surprise me if it went over 7. This is just a tremendous spot. So I really like the over here. And then for Mackenzie Gore, like if somehow the Padres don't score, I think the Rockies certainly could. You're talking about a young pitcher. Usually they do struggle because they don't know how to pitch in Coors. So I like really the chance of both these teams scoring in the first. But this is because they don't have the first inning hits allowed. They are always at 1.5. So if we do get it, which I think we should, since all 16 games have first inning runs allowed prop available. So I'd expect 1.5 hits to be available, and that would be my favorite, and I would lock that one for this one on the over, of course. Now on to pitching fantasy score. Eric Lauer tweeted this one out earlier. This moved. It was at 31.5. Had it as a lock for the under. Now it's at 28.5, so I'm going to stay away. Those 3 points could really be significant, so not going to go there. But Charlie Morton, I'll start off with him, 35.5. I like the under here against the Cubs. He had a 12 strikeout performance last time, which probably is why this line is as high as it is. But Charlie Morton is not the same pitcher. He's 38 years old, and there's a good amount of blue here. His K rate, it's 62 percentile. It's not bad. It's pretty solid, but with chase rate, that's certainly low or lower. And then the walk rate's not the best. So a pitcher that has a much higher ERA and expected ERA this season, much higher expected batting average, he's just not the same pitcher. Yeah, it's probably just declining due to age, and his ground ball rate is very significant right here. He was as high as 66% in 2016, and it's just been declining. 35.1 this year. That is a huge problem because if you're not keeping the ball on the ground, you're probably going to get lit up. So even though these are the Cubs, they will strike out a lot of righties. 79 degrees, winds are also not blowing out compared to when they were playing in San Diego. The Cubs are a much better offense when they're playing at home, and Charlie Morton isn't as good when he's pitching away. And it's not just because of the opponents, because you look at the home and away, some of these teams, you can look at it, pause the video, but it splits home and away. Home 434, away 689 ERA. So he definitely struggles away. And the same thing applies for Lauer. That's why I really like Lauer. But of course, the weather, the stadium, that's why I really did like the under. But the other guy, Hunter Green, I like his under, 32.5. This was at 30.5, and a lot of people were taking the over. At 30.5, I was already leaning towards the under. But now that I got bumped up, I'm going to take the under for this one. I'm not going to lock it, but I really do like this one because I think people are just kind of overestimating because he's the new guy, top pick, top prospect, has really good strikeout stuff. Like the K rate, the whiff, that's very good for a 22-year-old. But you look at his strikeouts, yes, those are great. 3 strikeouts here, but every other game, at least 6. And the Brewers, they do strike out righties. K rate, I think they're 9th. 23.7. But WRC plus, they are league average at 100. And this Brewers team, they actually are going to be facing him for the 3rd time this season. Once here, second here. And those 2 starts, he had his worst start against this Brewers team. That was away, but Cincinnati, like, this is one of the better hitting ballparks in all of baseball. So it's not like it's a downgrade or anything. And this game, 85 degrees, 9-mile winds blowing out. I think both these teams, their run totals are going to increase to over 5. And one thing I talked about last time when I attacked Hunter Green, Willy Adames, Christian Yelich, Rowdy Tellez, these guys just are going to cause problems. Hunter Green, he's a fastball slider pitcher, high velocity, throws over 100 on his fastball. But you can look at when they have to face high velocity fastballs, and a guy like Willy Adames, 233 ISO, very good. Woba's high, Tellez, Urias, these guys really do damage on that. And then, of course, he throws a slider, but really that's what you're going to get. 2 pitches, so it's really easy to sit on either one. Slider, Tellez, right up there again. Renfroe, Jace Peterson, these guys hit them really well. And then Christian Yelich, for him, he absolutely destroys in Cincinnati. So I love it when he's playing here. And this is going to be just a great spot. Hunter Green, very high fly ball rate, does not keep the ball on the ground at all. And the Brewers, they have a lot of guys that have low ground ball rates, 40% or lower. Even the guys that are above, like Yelich, very high. But with how well he plays in Cincy, Hunter Green, how he doesn't really induce ground balls, that's a problem. So I really do like this spot for the Brewers. Think Hunter Green is going to get strikeouts, but I think they're going to definitely be able to put up some runs, and he's just still going to be under this number. And then this is going to be my favorite line of the day. Kyle Freeland, 23.5. Taking the under here for the pitchers. Favorite for the pitcher side. Just talking about the cores, don't need to say it again, but that game is just absolutely going to be fireworks. All the conditions, how great the Padres are, everything. Kyle Freeland, I just don't think he's going to be this great. Like I think he was actually sent down a few seasons ago because of how poor he was. He's not been as bad, but something like the hard hit rate, it's a lot higher. His K rate's down, and it's a whole lot of blue. He's definitely worse when he's playing at home because of cores and righty lefty. He's not even good against lefties. So it's just, I really like this spot for the under, and I think this is going to go below 20. So try to get it as soon as you can. If it's like 21.5, I would still take the under. And then hitters now. So doubleheader. There's one that I do like for the doubleheader right now that's on the board. That's Josh Bell, under 7.5. He's a much better hitter when he gets the swing from the left side. But Ranger Suarez is the projected pitcher for Game 1. He's a lefty. He hasn't been the greatest this season, but he's going to be tougher against left-handers. Bell is going to have to swing from the right side. And I think this line probably should be 6.5, and that's why I'm going to take the under. Not a lock, but this game, same thing. The hitting conditions aren't as great. Wind's not blowing directly out. It's warm, but 4.3 run total, really not that high. I think the one worry is that I don't think Bell's going to score like 0. I think he's going to come kind of close. So I wouldn't have the highest confidence in this one. But it's because Ranger Suarez, he walks guys, and Josh Bell has a high walk rate. So that's one thing, and Suarez doesn't really go deep. So you're probably looking at a righty to come in later. And if that's the case, then obviously Josh Bell's going to be swinging from his stronger side. So that's the worry. Willy Adames over 7, going to be the next play. Talked about how well he does against fastballs, high velocity fastballs. So that's why I'm going to take the over. And he's had those 2 games against Hunter Green previously. He has been tremendous. And he should be able to have another great game here. Over 7. They actually don't have Christian Yelich up, but I'm sure they will soon. There's only 2 Brewers up, and when they usually have 3 hitters for each team. I think the over here, he's pretty much a reverse splits guy, and Hunter Green is also a reverse splits pitcher. So I like how both of these things match up. I just like this Brewer spot. Talked about it already a lot, but that's why I'm going to take Adames over the 7. Probably Yelich if it's at 7.5 as well. And then on the other side, I've attacked Eric Lauer's under. That's going to mean I like India and Drury here. Over 6.5, India will steal bases. Now Lauer is a lefty though, so maybe he's not going to be able to this game. But Drury, he is absolutely on fire. The hottest hitter on the Reds. And he swings he has great history against left-handed pitchers. And I really like this spot. Talked about the ballpark. Same thing applies for both these teams. So these lines at 6.5, I really do like it. I prefer Adames and Yelich when they're up, but it's because of the bullpen. Milwaukee, they do have Josh Hader, Devin Williams, Boxberger's been good. So when you do get into that bullpen, it is going to be tough to score. So that's my concern. That's why none of these guys are going to be locks. But I just think the spot's too good, though, to pass up. And then we're going to go to the Astros. 2 plays here, actually, against Lucas Giolito. I know that's a bit surprising because I usually do only attack bad pitchers. But I think these lines are too discounted. Lucas Giolito has not been that great. It's like when he first came up in the league and he was struggling. That's just not the case that he's been that great this year. Like, it seems like he's actually going back to the struggling part. A lot of blue. He's hard hit, getting barreled up, and you look at all those numbers. Hard hit, 45.6. That's insanely high. Expect the ERA a lot higher. He walks guys at a high rate. Now the strikeouts, yeah, I think that's probably why that his fantasy score line is that high. But I think he'll be able to definitely put some runs up for the Astros side. So I like it that he's been giving up some runs, giving up a lot of power as well. Just allowing 2 homers a lot of games, and his splits kind of reverse. So that's why I do like Altuve. But Brantley is the one that is a lock for me because he's been having a hell of a year. 35 years old, he's really, really solid. And 300 batting average, expected 328, does not strike out at all. One of the lower strikeout guys in the league, so that's going to help him against the high strikeout guy. And he gets on base with the walk too. So taking the fantasy score, those walks, 2 points, this is gonna help. And I think this number is just too low. Giolito has not been that great of a pitcher. This is a line that maybe we should be seeing if he's facing off against, I don't know, like a Corbin Burns or someone. Now Altuve, he has speed, so he could definitely steal a base and get there with the 5 points. So that's why I do like him. And then gonna go to another lock with the Angels side. Taylor Ward also at 5.5. Kind of similar to Michael Brantley. Facing off against Robbie Ray, a pitcher that will walk guys. And Taylor Ward, if you don't know, he's one of the higher walk batters in all of baseball this season. 98 percentile, and hitting, he's been tremendous. Against lefties, his splits, very strong. 324, 2 homers, only 37 at-bats, and he's just a very solid piece. He's been hurt, but he finally did play well. Third game back only, so I expect him to definitely find his groove. And Robbie Ray, he's just not a great pitcher. Somehow he won a Cy Young, but he's definitely going to be struggling this year. He got really lucky last year. He's allowing a ton of power to right-handed bats, and he's not that great, honestly. So I like Ward. I think the righty-lefty match platoon advantage for Ward is just going to work really well, and he's a leadoff guy. So when you have Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani hitting behind you, you definitely have a very good shot of scoring a run. And I just think 5.5 was way too low. Now, there's some guys that they don't have props up yet, but I want to talk about just in case they do. And those are going to be for total bases, so they still only have 2 up. But if any of these guys do get put up for 1.5, I'm taking the over on these guys. So all of these guys I'm going to list right now, they probably going to put them up in the morning. But they're going to be Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, both game 1s against Joanna Don. He just is not a good pitcher against lefties especially. Jake Cronenworth, Luke Voigt, CJ Cron, Byron Buxton. All these guys over 1.5 total bases. It's all the matchups. That's why I'm going to give those out to you. But I will post them if we do get lines for all those guys that I just mentioned. But favorite plays right now that are still available, Kyle Freeland, Michael Brantley, and Taylor Ward. So that is it for the video, guys. We might have a lot of plays today. Might have like over 20. So mix and match. I'm playing a lot of 2-pick powers, but it is happy hour for Friday. So if you want to maybe try to make some 5-play powers or 5-play flexes or 4-play powers with like the home run props, home run over 0.5 for some teams, then make sure you correlate the plays together. This seems like a very fun slate. So enjoy it. Good luck. Hope we make some money here. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.